In today's video, we'll go with a topic called ratios. What is meant by ratios? Let us see some more. So ratio is the brain of. I'm saying like the topic is percentage profit and loss discount, and time and distance. If you are good at percentages and ratios topic, you will be able to solve the problems related to this topic. Next, what is mean by ratio? Ratio is the comparison between two or more observations by using division method. Let's see what is the clear explanation regarding that definition. The next slide. So ratios can be represented in different ways. One way of representation is R A by B. So when we represent like A by B, the value of B cannot be zero. Why? Because ratio is also a fraction. Next, ratios are all can be expressed in the simplest form by eliminating the common element present in between those numbers or those observations. Let's see some examples related to ratios. The ratio of boys and girls in a class is 12 is to 11. So the ratio can be represented in 12 is to 11. So for every 12 boys, there are of 11 girls to match. So similarly, for every 24 boys, there are of 22 girls. So in this also the same ratio was present here. That is 12 is to 11 only. And we can, if we consider one more example, for every 120 boys, there are of 110 girls. So in this also the same ratio was present. That is 12 is to 11 only. Next, we consider another ratio, that is the ratio of length and width of a rectangle is 4 is to 1. So here the length was 4 centimeters if we consider like that and the width was 1 centimeter. And suppose if is one more example here, 8 centimeters long and 2 centimeters wide. So in this also we are having the same ratio of 4 is to 1 only. Why? Because in 8 and 2 the common element present is so we are eliminating that common element in order to get the ratio. It will become as a 4 is to 1 only. And let us go with some more examples related to it. Okay, let us consider a student uh, in two subjects. Those two subjects are A is to B. So A got 45 marks and B got 35 marks. So if we observe in two observations or two subjects, the common element present or the common element present in between those two numbers is or two observations is 5 table. So if I eliminate with the common element 5 table and the ratio will become what? 9 is to 7. As I told already, this can be represented in A is to B or A by B or A to B form. All the representations are same. So here we need to know some terminology regarding the ratio. I am saying A is to B form or A by B form or A to B. So A has some name, A has some name. So A I am calling it as an antecedent of a number and B I am called as a consequent of a number. So all the representations are sometimes in the examples also in the exams also will mention like that antecedent of a number is like something and consequent of a some ratio is something like that he'll mention of giving the ratio directly. So we need to know the terminology also in order to solve the problems. Let's see some more examples related. So here I am some 5 examples or 6 examples. Here 8 by 24. In this also the common element present here is 8 table. So if I eliminate with the 8 table common element and the ratio will become at 1 by 3. And the next ratio is 12 by 15. This also the common element present here is 2 table. And if I eliminate that common table, it will become 6 by 25. And the next example 40 by 200. In this also I am eliminating with the 40 common element. It will become 1 by 5. Next one is the 27 by 18. In this also the common element present here is 9. If I eliminate the common element 9, it will become 3 by 2. And the next last example is the 27 by 9. So in this also I am eliminating the common element 9. The ratio will become as 3 is to 1. So the definition is of ratio is a comparison of two or more observations. So here I am comparing two observations and I am applying a division method or common element elimination method in order to get the ratio or simplified ratio. The ratio is nothing but a simplified form of a given number or the particular numbers. And let's see some basic key points regarding the ratios. In ratio, if we multiply or divide a constant number, so if I multiply this ratio with a constant number, there is no change in the ratio. How? Let's see now here. So here I am some ratio 9 is to 5. On both sides, I am multiplying this ratio with 2, and it will become what? 18 is to 10. Again, in this whatever the number which I have multiplied here, that same number will be common here. So if I again eliminate the common number, the ratio will become again whatever the value which was present initially, that same value was present again. So in ratio, if we multiply with a constant number, there is no change in the ratio. Similarly, it is also applicable for the case of division also. Let's see an example here. So here I am taking a ratio as 8 is to 15. On both sides, I am dividing this ratio with 2. After dividing with 2, it will become like this 4 is to 15 by 2. And if I cross multiply the ratio here, it will become 8 is to, which means whatever the ratio which was present initially, that same ratio was present. Try to remember the point. If we multiply or divide with a constant number, there is no change in the ratio. If we multiply or divide with a constant number, there is no change in the ratio. And the next point is the ratio. If we add or subtract a constant number, the ratio will be changed. For the case of multiplication and division, there is no change in the ratio. But for the case of addition and subtraction, there will be a change in the ratio. Let us consider for the case of addition. So here I am having a ratio of 9 is to 5. On both sides, I am adding a number called plus 2. So after adding plus 2, the ratio will become 11 is to 7. So the original ratio was 9 is to 5, but after adding some number here, the ratio will become or the ratio will become 11 is to 7, which means I am getting some new ratio if I add with a some particular number, or if I add with a some particular constant number. And similarly, it is also applicable for the case of subtraction case. Let's see with an example here. Here I'm an example of 9 is to 5. On both sides, I'm subtracting with a number called 2. If I subtract that number with 2, the ratio will become what? 7 is to 3. So the original ratio was 9 is to 5, but after subtracting with some particular number, the ratio will become what? 7 is to 3. So which means we can observe that point here. After subtracting with a particular number, there will be a change in the ratio. So try to remember the point that addition and subtraction with a constant number, there is no change. There will be a change in the ratio. For multiplication and division with a constant number, there will be a change in the ratio. Try to remember these basic points. It will be helpful in while solving the problems of ratios. And the next point, let's see some more concept related or some of the examples before going to the actual problems. So these examples will give an idea how to solve the problems in a multiple ways. So here having an example, A is to B ratio gave as 2, B is to C ratio gave as 3, and he asks us to find the value of A is to B is to C. We observe in these two ratios, what is the common element present here? So here the common element present here is B. But here in ratio B was 3. Here also in the second ratio is also B also 3. So the common element was same, can directly combine the ratio. So that is the same point here. So here the common variable was B, and its values of the ratios, get the ratio of A is to B is to C. So we can get the ratio as a 2 4. Was one example related to very simple example. Let's see similar kind of an example and different kind of approach. So here having another example. A is to B as a 5 is to 6, B is to C as a 3 is to 4. Again, he asks us to find the value of A is to B is to C. Here also the common element was B again here. So, but first ratio B was 6, second ratio B was 3. So, what we need to do is we need to make B value to be same in both the ratios. So, let's see here. So, here the common variable was B. The value of, and its value was 6 in one ratio, and it is a 3 in another ratio. So, what we need to do is we need make p value to be same in both the ratios. For that, what we need to do is we need to multiply the second ratio with 2 in order to get the values regarding a is to b is to c here. So if we do like that, it will become like this. The first ratio was 5 is to was 3 is. Here I am multiplying the second with 2, convert to 6 is to 8. So here the b value was 6 and the second ratio also b value to be 6. After doing like that, it will become what? A is to b is to c will become what? 5 is to 6 is to 8. This is one way of solving the problem. And there is also one more method to solve the problems. So here I am writing. So here a is to b value gave it as 5 is to 6 and b is to c value gave it as 3 is to 4. What we need to do? We need to cross multiply these things. So first we need to, in order to get the value of a, you need to multiply 5 into 3. And in order to get the value of b, what you need to do? We need to multiply 6 into 3. And in order to get the value of c, you need to multiply 6 into 4. So this you can see here. So 5 into 3 is 2, 6 into 3 is 2. So after doing like that, it will become what? 15 is to 18 is to 24. Again, in this also some common number was present. What is that common number? Means 3 was the common number. So if I eliminate that common number 3 at the ratio as 5 is to 8. Whatever the answer which I am getting in the first, second method also I am getting the same answer. There is also some other third method is also present. That will I'll explain in the while solving the problems. Let us consider another example, that is third example here. Say the third example is a is to b value gave it as 5 is to 4 and b is to c value gave it as 7 is to 3. And in this also he asked us to find the value of a is to b is to c. But if you observe, this also b is common in both the ratios. But one ratio b was 4 and another ratio b was 7. For that, what we need to do is we need to make b value to be same in both the ratios. For that, what you need to do, we need to multiply. So, can see here. So the common variable present here is b. So value was 4 in one ratio and it is 7 in another ratio. So we need to make b value to be both the ratios. For that, we need to multiply the first ratio with the 7 and the second ratio with the 7 in order to get the values of a is to b is to c. Let's see how we are multiplying that one here. So this was the first ratio. For the first ratio, what I'm doing here, I'm multiplying with the 7. And for the second ratio, 7 is to 3, I'm multiplying with 4. If I multiply 7 with 5, it will become 35. And if I multiply 7 with 4, it will become 28. And for the second ratio also, if I multiply 4 with 7, it will become 28. If I multiply 4 with 3, it will become 12. So after multiplying with some numbers, the b value was 28 here. In the second ratio also b value to be 20. So I'll get the same ratio as a is to b ratio as 35 is to 25, 28 is to 12. And let's see another method to solve the same problem. So whatever the values which are here, the values are same written here. So for in order to get the value of a, what you need to do, you need to multiply 5 into 7. And in order to get the value of p, what you need to do, you need to multiply 7 into 4. And in order to get the value of c, what you need to do, you need to multiply 4 into 3. Like this cross way, you need to multiply. So if I do like that, it will become what? 5 into 7, 7 into 4, and 4 into 3. If I multiply all those values, it will become what? 35 is to 28 is to 12. So whatever the value which I am getting, same value which I am getting here also. Let's see some another example here. And the last example is a is to b as a 3, 4, b is to c as 5 is to 3 as a 1 is to 4. He asks us to find the value of a is to b is to c is to d value. In this also we are having 2 to 3 methods. So the first method is a is to b. So here b value was common. So I'm multiplying alternately here the b value. So here I'm multiplying with this 5 and multiplying this one to 4. And here also multiplying with 4. Next, here also value was common. Here 3, here C value was 4 and here C value was 1. So this 1 was multiplying here, I was multiplying here, he was multiplying here. If I am multiplying all the values, it will become what? The new ratios are 15 is to 20, 20 is to 12 and 12 is to 40. So here D value is same and here C value is same. We get the value of A is to be 20 is to 12 is to 40. And let's see with the some other method, method 2. So method 2 is similar, which I already explained in the previous example. So what you need to for getting the value of A means why you need to multiply 5 into 7 into 1. And in order to get the value of B, what you need to multiply 4 into 7 into 1. And in order to get the value of C, what you need to multiply 4 into 7, 4 into 3 into 1. And in order to get the value of D, you need to multiply 4 into 3 into 3. 4 into 3 into 4. So you can see here 5 into 7 into 1 is to 4 into 7 into 1 is to 4 into 3 is to 1 to 4 into 3 into 4. So if I multiply all those values, I'll get the same ratio as here. At the same value as 15 is to 12 is to 48. Let's see. Okay. There is also some other method. Third method is also there. It is very, what you need is you need to apply the example 3 first and then combine the value of example 3 with the value of C. So here A is to B is 3, for B is as a B is to C gave it as a 5 is to 4. So here B value was different here. Get the value of B, what I told, come multiply in a cross manner. So 3 into 5 will be 15, 5 into 4 will be 4 into 3, 12. So here only the common value was C only. So here C was present, but in here C was 1, but here C was 12. So what you need to do is you need multiply this one with 12. So this ratio was multiplied with 12 in order to get the value or in order to make C value to be same in both the ratios. So after doing so, it will become 15 is to 20 is to 12 is to 48. So any of these three methods you can approach in order to get the answer. There is also some another unique method is there. I'll explain it in the problems while solving the problems. For the time being, try to remember these methods to get an idea about ratios topic very well. Let's move further. Okay, the first example regarding ratios. If A is to B is a 7 is to 9 and B is to C is a 15 is to 7 and he asks us to find the value of A is to B is to C. So this is I was explained in the third example. Here the common element was B. Here B was 9 in first ratio and here B was 15 in second ratio. What you need to do is you need to make B value to be same in both the ratios. For that, what you can apply method 1 or method 2 or method 3. So there is some method 3. So what is that method 3 is? That is option verification method. So in option verification method, what you need to check among the given options whether the B is to C ratio was 15 is to 7 or not. So if I check ratio 45 and 21. So if I eliminate the common element present in these two numbers, it will become what? 15 is to 7 only. Why? Because 3 sevens and 3 15. So the ratio was present here is 15 is to 7 only. And now then check the value of A is to B ratio is 7 is to 9, satisfying or not. So I need to check in between these. Here again, if I eliminate with the 5 table, 5 sevens and 5 9. So it will be my answer directly if I go with the option verification without solving anything. If you check the remaining options also, you'll not get the answer. Okay, but anyhow, we'll see with the method called method 2. So 15 into 7, 15 into 9, and 9 into 7. Like this, like this way, you need to cross multiply the values. 7 into 15, 9 into 15, 9 into 7. So if I multiply the values, you'll get the answer as 35 is to 45 is to 21. The same answer we are getting as option A. So with the option verification method, we'll get the answer in a quick manner. So with the same approach, I try to get the answer for this question by pausing this video. Okay. I hope you got the answer. All of you got the answer. Those who are watching this video. So what I need to check here between C is to D, the ratio was has to be present here is 2 is to 5. Let's check the options whether the ratio between C is to D is 2 is to 5 or not. So if I check the last option D, that is 8 is to 7, there is no way of getting 2 is to 5. And if I go with the option B, 7 is to 14, there is a chance that I'll get the ratio as a 1 is to 2, but I can't get 2 is to 5. Next, if I go with option A, I know we're getting the ratio as a 2 is 5. So I'm done with all the three options, and the option only left with option C. In the option C, if I eliminate the common number, that is 3, 3 twos and 3 5. So the ratio was present here is C was 2 directly my option C. Can you let go with the method 1 or method 2 here. So these are the given values. What I need to do is in order to get the value of A, I need to multiply all these values 2 into 4 into 2. In order to get the value of 3, multiply 3 into 4 into 4. And in order to get the value of C, multiply 3 into 1 into 2. And in order to get the value of C, and it multiply the values of 3 into 1 into 5. So if I do so, I'll get the value as 16 is to 24 is to 6 to 15. The same answer which I explained with the option verification method. So I request all of you that try to get the answer in an easy manner instead of solving all the questions. If we go with the option verification method, we'll get the answer in a quickly manner. Let's move to another example here. So try to solve this another example. So what he asked in the question, he asked us to find the value of A is to B is to C is to D is to E. So simply what you need to check, simply check whether the ratio present in between D is to C is 5 is to 2 or not. So if I go with the first option, 44 is to 17, there is no possibility of getting the ratio as 5 is to 7, 5 is to 2. And if I go with the option B, 20 is to 19, there is no possibility of getting 5 is to 2. And if I go with option C, I need to check whether I'm getting 5 is to 2 ratio or not. If I go with 8 fives and 8 twos, so there is a chance that I can get the ratio as a 5 is to 2. And let's also check the option D also. If I eliminate with the common number 4, 4 fives and 4 fours, here I'm getting 5 is to 4 ratio, but I need a ratio as a 5 is to directly my answer to be option C without solving anything. So if you go like this, you will get the answer in within fraction of seconds. So all you need to do is you need to practice more number of questions in order to solve like this method. So let us see with the method one of approach. So method one, all what you need to do in order to get the value of A, you need to multiply all the first line values 2 into 3 into 3 into 5. And in order to get the value of B, what you need to do, to multiply 1 into 3 into 3 into 5. Now to get the value of C, what you need 1 into 2 into 3 into 5. And now to get the value of D, what you need to do into 4 into 5. Now to get the value of E, 1 into 4 into. If I do so, we'll get the value of 90 is to 45 is to 30 is 40 is 10. So whatever the same answer I'm getting here, after multiplying all those values also, I'm getting the same answer. That is option C. I hope understand all these problems. Meanwhile, try to share this video with your friends in order to get more number of videos like this. So you can also find our company on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter also. And if you have any doubts regarding any type of courses, you can message to this support number. And if you have any doubts regarding, I can also mail to this. Let's move to the next question. Okay, have some introduction here. What is meant by inverse ratio? Inverse ratio of A is to B as can write simply as 1 by A is 1 by B. So the inverse ratio of A is to B as B is to A. And let's see what is the inverse ratio of A is to B is to C. 1 by A is to 1 by B is to 1 by C as so B is to C is to A is to C is to A is to B. Let us consider an example. What is the inverse ratio of 2 is to 3 is to 4? So what you need to do is you need to multiply B is to C, A is to C, and A B. 3 into 4 into 2, 2 into 3. So we'll get the ratio as the 6 is to 4 is to 3. So the inverse ratio of 2 is 4 is 6 is to 4 is to 3. I hope you understand this one, and we'll continue in the next class. Thank you for watching this video. We'll meet in the next way. Have a good day.